What's going on, world, and welcome to today's video. So right off the bat, something about me is that I've always been very extroverted, and I've always been about understanding other culture and ethnic groups, especially those who call themselves Christians. I've been to Greek churches, Chinese churches, Brazilian churches. So this time around, I thought I'd check out a local Korean church, which, by the way, I had gone to visit twice with Jessica Waddell. By the way, sub to her channel, she's doing great stuff for the Lord. But this time around, I decided to go alone. And actually, the week prior, I was not feeling too spiritual. I had no enthusiasm to read the word or worship or even go to any church. And so because I was feeling down in my relationship with God, the week prior, I had actually got dressed, got my stuff, got ready, and literally got in the car and drove, but I ended up making a U-turn and returned home to go back to sleep before I even hit the highway. Safe to say, I was disappointed and not in a good spot at all. So, I encouraged myself throughout the week and got ready for the following. I went to the Korean church, I stayed for service, I didn't understand a thing. Point is, I was walking out of the lobby to leave, feeling somewhat okay, but in my heart I felt God telling me to go back inside and was all like, hey, you want to change, stop thinking about yourself and go back inside. So I go back inside and I see a gentleman there, something like an usher or a greeter, a little more on the mature side, and he had noticed me from when I had gone before because they don't really have that many foreigners swing by. And all of a sudden is all like, hey, by the way, are you hungry? And I'm like, no, sir, I'm okay. I'm just here visiting. It's all good. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Lies. I was starving. I did not eat breakfast, nor did I have dinner the night before. But the real reason I said no was because I'm currently using Invisalign. And if you know anything about Invisalign, you're not allowed to eat with them on. And I didn't want to make the situation awkward by telling the guy to wait for me. I'm going to go to the bathroom, take them off. I'll be right back. And I for sure was not going to take them off in public because it's not a pleasant sight. But even though I said no, he insisted and he hands me this Korean bread like fish snack. And I'm all like, am I really going to eat this with my Invisalign on? But I'm like, you know what, Lord? Not my will, but your will. And I chose to take the L and I take one solid bite of it with my Invisalign on and begin to chew. To be honest, because I was low-key uncomfortable, it was too new of a taste for me to actually enjoy because it's technically like fried beans with like a sweet cream inside surrounded by bread, you know? So I'm like barely chewing it while this guy is drowning his. And as I go in for a second bite, though I'm hesitant, the guy out of nowhere goes like, hey, by the way, can you sing? I have no idea what I was thinking, nor what came over me, but all of a sudden I was like, yeah, I can sing. I love singing. I love karaoke and stuff like that. It's awesome. It's great. I love it. I cannot sing. Maybe harmonize if I try, but not like 100% sing good. And so after I said yes, still oblivious to what he just asked me, let alone my answer, he was all like, that's great. Do you want to join our choir? And I just stood there like a deer caught in the headlights and I'm like, what? And he's all like, the church choir. And right now I'm stuttering worse than Moses and I'm like, sir, I can't even sing that good, if even at all. And he's all like, nah, it's cool, come with me, I'll show you to the choir room right now, follow me. And I'm still standing there with the fish bread snack in my hand and he takes off. And so I grab some napkins, I put the fish bread in it, and then I put it in my pocket and I go follow the guy. Mind you, I currently have no idea if my Invisalign is stained, so I'm hesitant to smile, talk, let alone sing. But as I follow him, he brings me face to face with the choir director and is all like, this guy wants to join choir. And I'm like, what? And so the choir director looks at me, I look at him, and he's all like, can you sing? No, sir. And then he's all like, can you speak Korean? No, sir. I'm being brutally honest here because I am not gonna lie in God's house like that. And so the choir director goes to me and is all like, okay, can you say hello in Korean? And I'm like, yes, 안녕하세요. And he was all like, perfect, you passed the audition. Here are the two music sheets for the next two hymnals. Go sit over there between tenor and bass. Y'all think I'm playing out here, yo. But whatever, I do as I'm told because by this point the fish snack gentleman already left and the choir director goes to me and he was all like, Christopher, please introduce yourself. Which I do pretty effectively because I memorized the phrase from my learning Korean video. And whatever, I said it and they were all super impressed at my Korean pronunciation and they clapped for me and they gave me like thumbs up. At the same time, the choir director goes to me and is like, Christopher, it's okay if you do not know the lyrics. Just sing the melody like la 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 la. Mentally, I'm like, my friend, don't know the lyrics, like I don't even know where I'm at anymore. But whatever, we start singing, I do the la 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 thing, and then the new gentleman on bass was very helpful to me and is all like, I know you don't speak Korean, but give me the music sheets and I'll go ahead and write down the romanization pronunciation of the Korean Hangul so that way you can pick up the lyrics. And I'm all like, thank you, sir. And so he helps me out, and about 20 minutes into practice, I'm picking up the lyrics because of this guy's help, and all of a sudden, he leans over to me. I lean over to him, and he's all like, you sing really good. You have a natural tenor voice. By this point, I'm about to cry tears of joy and tears of pain. And I'm all like, thank you, sir. You're a real one. And so yeah, practice goes on for about another hour and I'm getting my stuff to leave, and mentally I'm thinking, I can never show my face here again. And as I say bye to everybody and I'm about to walk out the door, the choir director goes to me and is all like, Christopher, next week be here at 9:30 a.m. And I'm like, 9:30 a.m. isn't service at 11? You know, trying to play it off. And he's all like, yeah, but choir practice is at 9:30, and also download Kakao Talk and we're gonna add you to the chat. And I said yes to everything. And that's how I ended up there singing hymns in Korean to the Lord I love. But yeah, all storytelling aside, let me remind you that the week prior, I was not feeling spiritually strong in any way, shape, or form. And in that feeling of unworthiness, God still managed to bless me. And no matter how spontaneous this actually was, I'm still grateful at the end of the hour. And please realize that not every blessing is gonna be like 100% good. That's not how God designed life to be. All new experiences will have their difficulties and maybe moments where you think that you made a mistake. Like I said, I am very grateful and I always try to work hard for things I earned. And God has blessed me that way for as long as I can remember. So I am in no way mad or confused, nor do I question it. Instead, I realize that I did ask and I did receive. I did knock, and though the door was already open for me, I had to be able to say yes to be able to walk inside. Brothers and sisters, please try to really approach new opportunities with an open heart. Do not go to places because you look for comfort or you're familiar with it, or because you know somebody there. That does not invite growth. What invites growth is change outside of what you're normally used to, including challenges that you may not feel totally equipped for. Why? Because God is telling you to let go and look to Him. Do not get so attached to things that you're normally accustomed to that it interferes with your growth, because after all, His ways are not our ways. And remember that He is a great provider. Immerse yourself in the opportunity. You have no idea the joy you could encounter if you just stand up for yourself and say yes. And stop concerning yourself with how you might look like towards others. Your mission is not theirs. And have the faith to listen to the voice of God and say, yes, Lord, your servant is listening. And I will be honest and say that though this story does have a lot of miscommunication because of I guess some misunderstandings, I do not regret any of it. And if I learned Korean along the way, great. Actually, one last thing I will mention is that the following week after morning practice when I first joined, the choir was walking from the room to the sanctuary, and I see the mature gentleman who introduced me to the choir team, and he's all like, Christopher, you're here! You joined! Thank you so much! And I'm like, yeah, I'm here, thank you! Honestly, thank you so much! But yeah, that was pretty awesome. Alright, till next time, y'all, stay blessed.